Welcome to The Passion Pod with your host, Chris Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the feature presentation.
Season 4. Episode 1.
Welcome back, friends. We've never had this much swag on the show before. Today, we traveled out to Eden Prairie, Minnesota to kick it with St. Paul rap sensation. We're catching him on Election Day 2020, just before the release of his new album, High Speed Cash, which will undoubtedly be out before this hits your ears. Welcome to the show, Cashinova.
Hey.
How you doing?
You should say Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Sure.
Eden Prairie's the burbs.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is where we're recording, is at my friend's house.
He's not from here. Why would you say?
I don't even. I be out here though, cause my guy Cookiez, who makes beats for me,
Yeah.
he lives like down the street from here.
Sick.
We're in Eden Prairie, but we, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Twin Cities, Minneapolis
Twin Cities,
area.
man.
Yeah. So give me a rundown of who you are and what it is that you're passionate about.
My name is Cashinova. I'm passionate mostly about music, to keep it simple. Just everything about music, the whole art of it, just everything. That's what I'm passionate about.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm passionate about helping people live fulfilled lives, which is tight. That's what we're doing
Hell
with this
yeah.
show, right? Is
For
to try
sure.
to tell people that whatever it is that you're passionate about, you could probably incorporate that more into your life.
Yeah.
So how can people follow you, listen to the stuff that you make, and get in contact with you if they feel so inclined?
You can get in touch with me at Cashinova Music everywhere online. CASHINOVA Music. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm mainly on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, that's how I hit you up, is I
Yeah.
just DM'd you on Instagram, and then
Yeah.
a few days later, a week, all of a sudden I get a message back. I'm out in Washington, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Cashinova hit me back.
Hey.
Sick. I was like drinking coffee. I'm like, hell yeah, that's tight. So can you give me like a summary just for people, because this show isn't necessarily about music, so a lot of people may not know who you are when they're listening to this show. Can you give me a summary basically of like your story, where you're from, what you currently do,
I'm from St. Paul. My parents are from Cambodia. They came here after this whole like genocidal war that was going on during the Vietnam War. They came here and like all Cambodian families, they got placed into project homes. And that's where I grew up. I grew up in, Section 8 project homes with other refugee families. Man, just growing up, rap was a big thing. Just, I guess, being in the hood. Like, hip-hop music is everywhere. You know what I mean? Outside your neighbor's house, outside the speakers of the cars coming in and out the neighborhood. Currently now, I just rap for a living. I make music. I got kids. I got 4 kids. Yeah, and that's, I like to get fly. I like to get fly and rap, man. That's,
Sure.
Yeah.
So when did you start rapping full time? Because you've been rapping since you were young, and
Yeah.
obviously that transition a lot of times is like kind of slow, right? It happens over time. When did you go full time?
So, man, I would say like super serious like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like,
Sure.
like really, really like I really want to do this. I haven't worked like a 9-to-5 job in like 7 years. So we could say 7 years.
Yeah, which is crazy when you have kids, man. Because
Yeah.
like I was telling you, I got a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. So it kind of changes the game, because a lot of these young people, when they're coming up, they're 20 or something. They don't have kids. They can sleep on somebody's couch. They don't have to make any real money. So they can put all this time into it, and it's not like that much pressure. But then all of a sudden, when you have kids and stuff to pay for, it's like a whole lot more pressure to try to be successful.
It's stressful.
All right, so you're a dad, you're a rapper. What's something that most people don't know about you?
Okay. I guess this is something random and interesting. When my dad said like when I was little or when I was born and just growing up, they called me like a little old man. I always acted like I was here before already, and my parents really believed that like I was reincarnated. Like they was like, this dude acts like an old man. And it's weird because I don't know why I was so interested in it, but like I remember 2nd grade, 3rd grade going to Blockbuster, and the movie I rented was the Marx Brothers. I don't know if you're familiar with the Marx Brothers. Groucho Marx, Harpo Marx. It's like an old black and white film comedy. I mean, I'm talking about this is 1930 1930s, 1940s,
Sure.
and I'm like 8 years old, 7 years old. Like, oh, I want this, and I would watch it, and I don't know. I guess I like reading, but that should be something that everybody likes to do. You know what I mean? But
That's something that should be normalized, but you don't hear rappers talk about reading all that much.
yeah. I guess. Oh, okay. Something. I'm very like empathetic. Like I'm very like I can't help but like feel for people. I guess that's some super.
I think that's like you can hear that in music, which is nice. That's like
Cool.
helps people connect, which
Yeah,
is really, really
yeah.
cool. But it also leaves you a little bit susceptible for people trying to take advantage, which
No,
unfortunately
and
kind of
it
happens
happens.
sometimes.
It does happen.
Well, it's hard to like be the bad guy,
For
you know, because I
sure.
have people
When-
hit me up for different things too, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
it's not that I want to say no, but I kind of have to, you know.
I still keep it like I'm still serious about this though. Like, I
Yeah,
don't-
well, that's it, right? You
yeah.
can't like.
But I got nothing but love for people, man.
Yeah, well, it just comes down to like your most valuable resource is time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really give time to everybody. Like it just doesn't work that way. You're gonna run
sure.
out. Like
For
you gotta
sure.
know where to put your time. So what's up with this new album? Why don't you just like plug all the different info about that? Because I heard like my favorite song is that one Flawless, like that you already
Yeah.
released. I was like, hell yeah! When you agreed to be on the show right away, I'm like, okay, I gotta listen up through this discography, and I listened to that one and that track.
Yeah.
Slays. But what's up with this thing? It should be coming out real soon.
Yeah, no, real soon. I'm thinking like early 2021. I wanna come out the new year with it. I don't want it to get drowned into like the 2020 shit, you know what I'm saying? But I got another video dropping in like next week. So that'll be like the 4th video. I just wanted to just drop a video every month, and then I was like, I'm gonna drop the album too. Like I didn't want to just drop one video and then and let it ride out to the album. I wanted to drop like a whole bunch. So I got another video dropping, and then I got another video dropping in December, and then January I'm probably thinking drop the album.
Yeah, well, I mean, the album really is like what your work is when you look at it back as a whole. But I think with attention spans nowadays, anyways, like
Yeah.
the videos and stuff actually
That's-
get way more views and attention.
For sure. That's why I ain't gonna lie. I was even thinking of like not dropping the album, and and just dropping a song every month with a video every month, just because of that alone. But I don't know. Another part of me is like, no, you need to drop that, man. People need to hear it. But yeah, High Speed Cash coming real soon, man. Real soon.
So I know Drake had a influence on you. Like I listened to
Yeah.
other interviews, and you definitely talked about him, and I can kind of hear that.
Yeah.
But what influences can we kind of expect to hear on this album then?
I've been listening to from the time I dropped the Big Dragon to now, I've been listening to a lot of like the new waves. Lil Uzi, Nav, Lil Durk. I still listen to Future, Drake still, J. Cole. My favorite rappers are always gonna be like Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick. Those are like my go-to guys. If they drop something, I gotta hear those for sure. But as of now, man, just anything relevant. I've just been listening to all the relevant. The Baby, Stunner for Vegas, Migos, Pop Smoke, Lil Baby, Gunna, all that. Young Thug. Young Thug is one of my favorite too. And like Andre 3000
I could see that.
or something like that.
I could see,
Yeah.
especially Kendrick and Andre, because you have a very like unique voice for
Yeah,
rap, which I
that-
think is an awesome thing.
For
Obviously,
sure. I think that probably came from Kendrick.
Yeah, that's where I
little
feel it
inspiration probably like literally came from him. Yeah.
I feel that. So who's a musician outside of that genre, some other genre that you listen to? Because you must not listen to only hip hop and rap, right?
No, I mean, as of lately, I've been keeping it like strictly hip hop and rap, but I've had like a little phase where I was really into James Blake, like super into him because his production and voice is crazy. And I think it's crazy because at that time when I came across him and discovered him, he didn't have no collabs with nobody. I would say he wasn't even, he could have been signed, I don't know, but he wasn't really, ain't nobody really know him. But now he's like, he works with a lot of hip hop artists. Like there's hip hop artists that got James Blake on a song. And I thought that was like really cool because I was a hip hop artist and I was into his. I guess the production had like sort of like the elements or the bones of like a hip hop track, but it wasn't. I don't know if you're familiar with his music, but
Not really, but I mean, in general, I think some of my favorite songs are songs that do really well. Like, what's that one song Jay-Z and Alicia Keys did together that went nuts? Like, State of whatever.
Yep.
Like, I think it's really important for anybody, like whatever industry you're in, to look at what other people are doing in different genres of what you do. Because a lot of times, if you are able to capture that and pull it in, that's what makes you sound unique in the first place.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Billie
Some of my
Eilish.
favorite. Yeah.
Billie Eilish is cool. Liana Havas, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but she's a really dope artist. That's all that's all I can think of right now.
Well, let's get to our first song break. What's a song of yours that you want to play so that way everyone can go, oh, damn, this is who this is?
We got to do Flawless, man. This is Flawless. This is a single off of High Speed Cash. It's a banger. Yeah, run that shit.
Flawless, ooh, brand new whip look flawless. My new chick look gorgeous. Whole gang look like torches. Oh my goodness, and I come through real saucy. Just got paid, I'm flossing. I'm a boss and I hang around bosses. Ooh, brand new whip look flawless. My new chick look gorgeous. Whole gang lit like torches. Oh my goddamn, and I come through real saucy. Just got paid, I'm flossing. I'm a boss and I hang around bosses. Gotta go all the way, I'm coach, I gotta run all these plays. Now I got them all amazed, they ain't never met an Asian with all this game. All my flows is flawless, all this drip came with no sponsors. Still putting on my off day, smoking presidential, bitch, I should've been in office, yeah. You had a wave, but you fell off, cause you got lost in your ways. Too busy loving the bitches and fame, and not enough love for the game. At first stab, I look like Prince, I'm sipping on Purple Rain. She wanna go all night, wanna blow my mind like Kurt Cobain, yeah. She tryna give me a quota, if it costs a little bitch, I don't want it. She like the sound of my music, I ended or hit until 5 in the morning. You know I keep wavy, I pull up, it look like I came with the Navy. Look like a family reunion, I be with some hitters I knew since a baby. Flawless, ooh, brand new whip look flawless. My new chick look gorgeous. Whole gang lit like torches. Oh my goodness, and I come through real saucy. Just got paid, I'm flossing. I'm a boss and I hang around bosses. Ooh, brand new whip look flawless. My new chick look gorgeous. Whole gang lit like torches. Oh my goddamn, and I come through real saucy. Just got paid, I'm flossing. I'm a boss and I hang around bosses. Yeah, in the middle of the winter, I'm a high one. All winners gotta face some losses. All that matters is how you bounce back from it. Baby, I'm dipped, I'm saucy. My trip fresh out the faucet. She wanna bite on the head like Ozzy. Middle fingers, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Had to tell your girl to ease off me. My go dumb with the E40. All this cream, I need coffee. All these verses I kill, I need coffins. I don't want a piece, I need all it. Cookies on the beat, I eat all it. Young man on the bench and I'm a baller. I'm here for the money and more dollars. If y'all ain't talking about getting to the bag, then I don't know what y'all saying. His girl wanna be with me, but do I want her? Not at all, my mans. Her man wanna be like me, wanna rap this dope like a contraband. Hoes telling me to count my days. I've been busy trying to count these bands. Yeah, flawless. Ooh, brand new whip look flawless. My new chick look gorgeous. Whole gang lit like torches. Oh my goodness, and I come through real saucy. Just got paid, I'm flossing. I'm a boss and I hang around bosses. Ooh, brand new whip look flawless. My new chick look gorgeous. Whole gang lit like torches. Oh my goddamn, and I come through real saucy. Just got paid, I'm flossing. I'm a boss and I hang around bosses.
So thanks for that track. That's actually my personal favorite of yours.
Shout out Cookiez, my fault. Shout out Cookiez N Aliens, man. He produced most of High Speed Cash.
Hell yeah. And you've worked with him over the years in general.
Yeah, you know, we go back to 14, 15 when I first started type shit, and we was learning the music together. Yo.
Sure. Yeah, I love in general, I love the hook. And at the end, just because I work for myself, you're like, I'm a boss and I hang around bosses. And now I feel like I can be included on that conversation now that we're hanging out. But who are the other bosses that you're kicking it with these days? Are there features on your stuff that's coming up with some people that you want to plug? Or are there any that you were on recently?
Man, yeah. I mean, first of all, like a boss to me is anybody who's just on they you know what I mean? So Recently I had a track. I was featured on Soda Supreme's album. It's me and Lucian Parker on a song called Wishing Well. That's my latest like feature as far as for me. Man, I have Ted Park from Milwaukee on this track called Easy. That's about to be on the High Speed album as well. Who am I hanging around with? Man, all my friends is bosses. You know, they just getting money. We didn't let our environment and our surroundings stop us from getting money. Whether what it is, no matter what it is we had to do, sell drugs, get a job. Just all my friends that's from my neighborhood are all on their shit. And I felt like that was perfect.
Yeah.
For a line. Yep.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm like stoked to see people like you taking advantage of what quarantine has like thrown us, right? Like you always have to work with whatever hand you're playing.
No, I took, bro, this was like, wow, this is great. This is great for me, right? I was like, I didn't have time to record music because it was like, touring was coming because we were supposed to go on tour.
You guys were just in Eau Claire last year.
Yeah, we were supposed to go, and we had a tour. I was supposed to hit the West Coast with Prof and Stophouse. Shout out those guys. But COVID came through, man, and it didn't stop the tour. It canceled all that. But I was like, dude, this is the perfect time for me to create music finally because I've been like, it's hard for me to create music when I have a whole set list, playlist that I have to memorize. Because I do my show sets without the vocals on the beats, so it's like I'm working on my breaths. I'm rehearsing every day the 45-minute set. I'm exercising so I can build stamina for it. If I record, I would record a new song here and there, but it's just like when I do things, I like my mind to like be like fully like engaged with that thing that I'm like that I really need all my focus on or whatever. So COVID came through, and literally I think if COVID didn't hit, High Speed Cash wouldn't really be what it is, the album, because it was in a state of mind where I was like, let me work. I have time finally. Plus, I don't know what the is about to happen. So let me just create content. Let me make content. So yeah, I took advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, like obviously opening for Prof and being around and all that stuff, like that's great. But from my understanding, Prof is a pretty incredible performer, right? So you're
that's literally probably like the best dude you can learn from to perform.
Right, but that's like a whole different part of the career, right?
Yeah.
Like writing and creating is very different than being a performer, right?
No,
like if you can do all of it, that's great.
For sure. And I still feel like my is not even like the best it could be. Like I still feel like I have a lot of things that I could work on with my stage performance.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing this thing for like a minute, but that doesn't mean you're still not relatively new to the whole touring and all that type of thing, right?
Sure,
like there's a lot of room for growth for all that type of stuff.
Everything. Yeah.
So who are some of the people, like obviously we just mentioned Prof, but who are some of the big people that have helped so far in the career?
Shout out Atmosphere. They had me on their album, Ma Vida Local. I did a hook on a track called Drown. Prof, for sure. Prof and the whole Stophouse team put me in a whole new mindset as far as this whole rap shit. You know what I mean?
Took a whole nother stage for you.
Yeah. I mean, the whole local scene wasn't big people that brought me here. It was literally like the people that I was in touch with, which is the other people who have the same goals and dreams as me out here in Minneapolis, St. Paul and shit. 'Cause I don't know like Lizzo, and I don't know anybody else really famous. You know what I mean? I done opened up for big time artists, like anybody else done opened up for big time artists. So I guess it was just the people that's just grinding just as much as me out here that really pushed me to be whatever I am right now. My brother was a big influence in my life. He was rapping and shit when I was young. Like I'm talking about, I'm kindergarten, first grade, and he coming in with tapes that he recorded with his friends on cassette tapes to listen to and shit. I think it's just my background, man, my neighborhood. Just, I grew up freestyling, trying to just battling for fun on the bus stop. Everybody wanted to rap. That was everybody's dream. You either be a hooper or a rapper or a drug dealer, real shit. Yeah, I get. Did I answer it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, ultimately, it comes back to the being a boss, hanging around bosses. The point is, like, you find other people hustling, right?
Yeah.
If you find other people that you view as peers, whether they're a little further ahead or not, but if they're also working really hard, they inspire you to want to work hard. And then you find ways that you can work together that are mutually beneficial, right? That's always the relationship that you're trying to
and
find.
shout out my DJ Youngstar. That boy is talented as hell and everything that's DJ related. He DJ'd for Justin Bieber in his early career. He's done many dope shit. And it's cool as that I can be like, yo, that's my DJ. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I took a different. I always worked hard since I was young, and always was relatively successful. Like I made pretty good money when I was young. But then what I chose to do career wise was like such a mellow thing that I was off in my own little zone. Like I just owned this tiny little skateboard shop, and then I watched my other friends, become photographers and working with this company or working with this person or whatever. And I'm like, damn, you're killing it, man.
Yeah.
And I like forget, like, no, I'm killing it. Like just in a different way. I didn't have any notoriety.
Right.
But it's cool to see like how all these other people have grown. And now like my friend Max Kaler, he owns this company called Antics, and they do like the stadium lighting and stuff. Like I think they did it for Lil Wayne at one point, but they do like big time shows and stuff. And my friend Alex Unkefer, he does photography, and he does like a bunch of stuff with Red Bull and stuff, and he's worked with a bunch of cool people. Hopefully eventually I can continue to grow and work with more more people with a little bit more notoriety. That'd be tight.
Oh yeah.
So let's say that your next big single is going to drop, which you haven't. This is one that we haven't done, right? So let's think this is after this album drops. The next big one, this is going to be like your huge one. If you can have any artist, Kendrick or whoever, who do you want as a feature?
Drake. It'd be Drake. It would just make sense, man. The song will blow up, and we take off from there. Man, yeah, Drake is number one. I could go down the whole list of them up, but that'd probably be it, man. Because he delivers.
Oh, yeah, I would say so. He's pretty successful.
Yeah.
So we're both in a similar kind of like dad mode spot. I think we're about the same age, and we're trying to balance things. That's kind of like the difficult part. I talked to you a little bit about it before. Like if you're 20, all of a sudden, like you can do whatever you want. You don't really have anything to dictate your time. You could be doing 18 hours a day, like on the grind, but then you're all of a sudden a bad parent if you're in our position and you're doing all that. So it's kind of hard to balance things.
Right.
How is like balancing worked for you? And then the big question for me anyways is once quarantine's up, like your album will already be out. People are going to want you just traveling all the time. How are you planning on balancing that when that happens?
I mean, I've been doing it anyway. You know, I got my lady at home. Like, you know, she really believes in this just as much as I do. So it ain't, as long as the situation I'm in is so funky right now. I only can go on tour if it works at home. If it's not possible to do it, then I can't go on tour. You know what I mean? There's been tours that I wasn't able to do because of that reason. So, man, I guess, with High Speed, it's more than just an album title. High Speed music is what I rep and what I live by now. Is basically the high speed way of life. That's what I believe in. Is basically you wake up and get straight to it. I don't sleep in no more. I don't stay up and like party all night no more. None of that. And I'm all about just getting to it, doing what I got to do to get money, to get my name out there, to finish a song, to whatever the case may be. I was up at 5 a.m. today mixing music. I woke up, I went straight on the laptop, went mixing music and that comes with having kids. You got to find a balance. You got to find how you got to find time to for the kids for sure, and time for yourself. And what worked best for me is, again, that high speed way of living. I get straight to it. I'm all about just moving fast, not slowing down for anybody, staying in my lane, worrying about myself and getting straight to what I got to do. And I do that with everything. Music, feeding the kids, everything, bro. Like everything. It's just that sort of mentality. It's not live fast, die young. It's live fast so you can grow old. You know what I mean? Like so you can be old and have what you've always wanted type, or do everything that you wanted to do. So again, I'm up at 5 a.m. whoop-de-whoop until 7, 8 a.m. They wake up. Another thing we've done was they're in virtual like academy, so I'm like handling it at home, and that gives, I guess it's just more time for me to do music. I mean, I guess if they was in school, I'd have more time, but
Well, I think it's just about being like wise with your time, right? It's
Yeah,
like at
yeah.
some point as you get older, you realize that time isn't infinite anymore.
Yeah,
Because
no,
it
for
feels like
sure.
that when you're younger. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I got all the time in the world. But then, especially once you have kids, and even just getting a little bit older, all of a sudden you're like, well, if I want to do this thing, I gotta like get stuff done.
No,
and
yo,
what's
yo.
cool when you're in like a creative type situation, mine too. Like I have to be at my store certain hours sometimes, but in general, I can do a lot of work from my phone or from like wherever, and it's
Yeah.
about finding where can I
And that's-
pop in that 15 minutes.
That's what
that
I mean
hour.
too. The
Yeah.
high speed thing. I don't let like, oh, I ain't got the right chair or I ain't got the right like literally like beat or something. Like I'll record a whole song to a beat that I don't own, delete the beat, send my vocals to beat makers, because that's the whole high speed thing. Like I'm not gonna sit around and wait. And another thing, sometimes I record the music with my kids all up in the room, and I'm like, just be quiet. Instead of like most people be like, oh, I can't do this. The kids are here, and man, it's not possible to do it. No, that is possible. You can clean up them vocals later. You know what I mean? Do whatever. But if you need to record right now, record right now. That's just to elaborate on that.
Yeah, just while like the juices are flowing, right? Like I
Yeah,
said, it's
yeah.
about being wise with your time. What can you do in what particular moment that you have rather than just making excuses?
Yo.
You're kind of bringing up like the general process, but I would like to give people kind of a perspective on things. So like for my show, I've talked about it before, I record an entire season. I treat it kind of like an album in that way, where I record all 10 episodes of a season. So I have the whole project figured out. This is what I want to do. This is when I want each person's episode to be done, whatever. Have it all edited, so it's all done. And then I have them released week by week, so that way I'm not scrambling on anything. I know the episode's coming out this day. Everything's been done for that period of time, and then I can hit you up. I shoot you a text and be like, all right, Cash, what do we want to do this week? What should I post on Tuesday? Do you got some photos for me or whatever? And then like it slowly comes out. So like this season, we're recording right now. This is the beginning of November. This is the third episode I'm recording this season. They should start rolling out Christmas time-ish. Something like that. I haven't exactly figured out what time, but that's about when they're all going to kind of come out. So that way I have time to make sure I market and promo each episode as effective as possible. So for you, talking about like, obviously this is a unique situation because with quarantine, everything shut down. You have a little bit more time to focus on writing and stuff like that. But for this new project, when did you have the idea, like, I want to try to do this project? And then the summary of kind of like, how did you make through that?
It's just like that. Just like how you do yours. This was since July. Just in general, you gotta, for you to submit your I use DistroKid, and for you to submit your music onto iTunes and all that, it takes 3 to 4 weeks. They tell you to do it 3 to 4 weeks ahead of the date that you want to release. So when I dropped Flawless, I had it planned a month ahead. All the Bugged Out song was a month ahead. The Easy song a month ahead, and I have. You know, if I didn't want to drop the album, I have enough music to go into next year, next summer, next fall. You know what I mean? But yeah, and that's the reason why I'm like, should I drop the album? But it's just, you know, when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, I was on the spot. I was already doing that whole high speed thing, but it was wild. I'm like, I'll just upload a video the day it's sent to me because I wanted it out there. You know, I had no game plan for it. I'm like, people just need to hear it. Let me just put it out. So now everything's a little more strategic, and shit like that. You just learn that from working.
Yeah,
over
I
the
think
years.
like it's important to recognize when you're in any kind of like audio world that people are paying you for things. Maybe not, they're probably not buying albums because people don't hardly do that, unfortunately, which I wish they would
Right.
support your artist and just buy the album, please, because
Right.
they're giving you something for free. But in general, they're paying with their time, right? Again, talking about that resource. So if you can give them the same amount of quality and it only takes them 10 minutes of time to consume rather than 20, you're going to get way more people giving you that 10 minutes of time, right? So that's kind of the point of like, don't just throw stuff out. Why not? I mean, don't be in a rush. And as you get a little bit more mature and you've been doing it for a while, you realize like there's no need to rush. There's content already out there. Like people are waiting and will wait until this thing's ready. I might as well do it the right way. That's the best way to grow anyways, in my opinion.
For sure.
So you clearly have a lot on your plate. I mean, we all do, right? We're all busy adults. For me, I finally started outsourcing editing of my show last season. I was like, for one, I really don't like tinkering on my computer. That's not my strong suit. I don't like doing it, and it takes way too much of my time. if money wasn't an issue and you could hire somebody to take care of some things for you, what are some things that you wish you didn't have to do that somebody else could take care of?
Mixing the music, recording the music. I do that all myself right now. Yeah. I guess to answer your question more, it'd be like, the that I'm doing, taking care of right now. If somebody else, emails, man, sending out the music, and like that. I'm doing all that, and then hitting up Spotify playlist curators and
It's a grind because,
DJs
you see what comes out, right? And that's probably only 10% of the people that you've had conversations with because things don't always work out. You're like always putting feelers out. Even with like this situation, I put feelers out to people all the time like, hey, would you maybe be interested? And sometimes it takes like 6 months to get a hold of somebody and have things work. There's a lot of people I've talked to that like it just never ended up coming to fruition. There's if you could just know when to show up and perform, that would make things a whole lot easier, I think.
Sure.
So out of curiosity, what are some stress outlets for you when you get writer's block? What do you do outside of music stuff?
Things I do before it got all like cold and it got better, so I'm about to start doing it again. It's jogging, running.
Yeah, I've been on that too.
Yeah, I was over the summer. I was doing it every day, literally every day. About like 3 to 4 miles of just jogging, running, walking. And one thing I made sure I do for sure was sprint as fast and hard as I could for like however long, you know what I mean, until it hurt. And I wanted to do that every day because I was like, at least I can like push my body to its most harsh, you know what I mean, whatever, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like push it. Why not sprint? I asked all my friends when I was telling them that I was like jogging and shit every day. Like, when's the last time you got to sprint as hard as you could, dog? Like we was kids though. Like, run as hard as you can. And everybody's just like, damn, I can't even remember. And I'm like, I think the body needs that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big part of the whole jogging thing. Was sprinting as hard as I could, and just getting that in every day. It literally you feel good as.
I mean, I think anytime you put your like body in a different place, it puts your brain in a different place. I biked across the state 2 years ago now. Did like from Dubuque, Iowa to Kenosha. Shit. It's 200 miles. It took like 4 days for me. But anytime that you put yourself in that, you're in a totally different situation that makes your brain think a little bit different. You know what I mean? So, and it's the same way with like altered states in general with like anything. You see people who like, stay up for way too long and then they try to do different things, or they, experiment with like microdosing or different things. Whatever puts you in a different like mental state sometimes can help like change your point of view on things.
For sure.
But the health thing, I mean, I think it's like noticeable. If you even just watch like music videos from you from a couple years ago, like looking at you now, you like look a lot thinner. You've been on your grind.
Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. I got videos shot before I started running and they're gonna drop later, and you can see it in my face, and I'm a little chunkier. I'm like, whatever, man. I gotta, it's content or whatever, but. No, yeah, I think it's very important. And another thing is, I have a circle of friends who I can hit up, and they're just, homies that I went to high school with. One of my main guys, High Speed Billy, he's part of the High Speed squad. Just somebody, my friend since 10th grade. Not even on no like weird. We don't even look at it. We just look at it as just real. It's almost like a podcast. We call each other and we just chop it up. Like, we talk about and you get to talking, but then at the end of the day, it's like it's good for your mental health. Like, we talk about, he'll talk about things that he goes through with, certain people and or females and I talk about my kids and we just smoking weed, or I'm on the phone, I'm just smoking weed and I'm just chopping it up like how you would do with any homie. But like, you come to realize like sometimes that's needed. Like, sometimes you're literally just helping your mental health be, you're helping as men. Sometimes men don't do that, and I have guy friends that I don't do that with, but we've just known each other since 15, 14 that and most of my all my friends that I've known for that long, I can do that with. And Yeah, no. It ain't that deep, but it is that deep. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's good to just, if you have a circle of friends, you're almost venting at the end of the day, and sometimes that feels good. It's almost like talking to a psychiatrist, but it's your homie, you know, and he's gonna tell you, and he knows you better than anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good like reflection time and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, men especially, I think, don't want to admit mental health problems,
sure.
which they exist. Like they've existed more and more prevalently,
sure.
unfortunately. So I mean, I personally see a therapist every like 2 weeks, and I think if everybody in the world could see a therapist just like once a month for an hour, it would make the world such a better place. Just for like reflection time, you know what I mean? To vent, talk through things, because it's not like you need a solution for.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's nice to step back and just be able to talk about it and then go, oh, okay, now I have a better perspective on things.
sure.
You know what I mean? So through this like growth then, like how are you different as a person than you were, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
I just try to have a understanding of everything, and I work really hard towards being positive every day. Like that's like my main like goal thing. Like soon as like somebody in my personal circle, like my lady or anybody's like negative about something, I'm quick to point it out. And even when I get negative about things, and I always reframe like, oh, don't think that way. Don't say it that way. Don't react to it that way. You know what I mean? I guess my main thing in life right now is just like positive and just to feel good and be happy. You know what I mean? I ain't with if anybody want like drama, like it could be drama, but I'd rather not. Like that's just where my mindset is at. I just want to get money and rap and put out my music and I guess that's the same mindset. And also help others. I guess I've been and more just getting out there. I've always been somebody who's just been like, I don't like the club and all that. Like I just do that just for show, like because I have a show or something. But I don't know. I guess just working on anything that's just better than what I was before. That's just what I'm always doing.
One thing that I think is funny that somehow we've lost track of in America, or a lot of people in general have lost track of, is it's supposed to be about the pursuit of happiness. But for some reason, now, like, it's not. Everyone just wants to make exclusively money, right? They just want to make more money, not just to the point of being able to feed their families and enjoy their life, which is stupid because the point of money is to be a tool to be able to do the things that make you happy.
Right.
But people put aside everything that makes them happy specifically to make money. And it's like, no, that's not the point.
Man, it gets deep, man.
That's what I'm saying though. But that, right? Like you lose track of it. And I think when you get a little bit older and you realize where you're spending your time, you're like, well, okay, the point is I want to be as happy as possible. And that's what comes down to that like positive mental attitude thing too, is the more positive you are, you attract more positive people.
Things. I believe in the law of attraction, so
that's what I'm saying.
It's all about that. It's literally and it ain't even on no magical. Like once you start thinking positive about things, because life is about perception. So once you start saying hella positive, which I've been doing, and just being thankful for like the littlest that you wouldn't even usually be thankful about, you just have a different. You start paying attention to positive things now. So when somebody would have said something to you before, it probably just would have went one ear and out the other, or it would have been taken a different way. You don't even realize it. But once you start being positive, it's easier to see the positive out of different things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're looking for it, right? Like that's how it works. Is once if you buy a car or whatever, like a certain one, then you notice that model everywhere that you go. It's just like that,
It just happened. Yep.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of like self-help books for a bit. I was on that kind of like whole trick, and one that I read, I forget which one it was, but anyways, in it, this dude gave like a quick little practice that he's like, this is how you're going to be more productive with your day. He's like, when you wake up, when your alarm goes off, whatever, when you wake up, don't do anything except sit up immediately. Don't lay there. Don't look at your phone. Sit up and then verbally, not just like in your mind, verbally out loud say, today is going to be a good day.
Oh, I do that.
And then make your bed. And that's it. He's like, do that quick thing and you tell yourself you're going to have a good day. And because you already accomplished one task right away, it just kind of sets you up. Like, then it's all of a
Facts.
sudden that fact. It's the same way you
Facts.
clean out a drawer, now you clean out the room in the house. Like if you do stuff like that, it just kind of is this upward cycle, which is awesome because so many people are stuck in the downward cycle.
Yes.
You got to get in that upward cycle.
Yes, for sure.
So, I mean, getting towards the end of this thing. So, what's next? Obviously, this album's coming out, and
Yeah,
then
man.
hopefully, when quarantine's done, you're gonna tour for the album, or like, what's your plan?
Man, as of now, I'm just working on just music. I'm not even thinking about. I just know it's gonna come, but as far as like shows and. But right now, I just want to create the best material possible. So High Speed Cash it's pretty much done. I'm still open to add to it and things like that. I'm just polishing it up, really. So yeah, that's all my focus has been on, man. Just putting more content online. I'm thinking like every month have at least something, man, a video, something. You know what I mean? And yeah, just continue to grow and continue to share my music with the people.
Yeah, it's important to stay on that forefront. I mean, again, it's tough with short attention spans,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
you'll be in the rear view fast if you
Hey,
don't continuously put stuff,
for
right?
sure.
Like, and that's the people who are smart and understand that the industry's evolving and that's how it works now.
That's
They're the
what I
ones who are
had
going to keep
to.
growing.
Yeah, that's why I'm dropping so much music right now. Because again, the kids, man, and the attention spans and things being so quick, I'm trying to keep up with this, man.
Yeah, but I've been referring back to this episode ever since I did this. But I had Andrew Cannon, who is a retired pro skateboarder, who now is the brand manager for Santa Cruz. If you know that company, it's pretty big. But he does announcing for X Games and different things and stuff.
Cool.
And I was asking him about like how the challenges of how the internet have like kind of affected the industry. And he kind of flipped a switch on me in the middle of the conversation. He's like, look, there's really no need to be negative. He's like, yeah, there's all these problems that everyone wants to refer to that is difficult with the attention span, is difficult with, Instagram or with whatever. He's like, but as things evolve, nobody else has any more experience than you do. Right? If you just flip it and think of it as an opportunity and say, well, yeah, okay, albums aren't appreciated as much as they used to be, but now it's way easier to record. It's
Right,
way easier to
facts.
find people who have a camera worth using for a music video. It's way easier to reach people via
That's
social
that high
media.
speed.
That's what I'm saying. So
Just
like
straight
looking
to
at the
it.
opportunities that you do have.
And just with our phone in our hands, that we have everything in the palm of our hands right now. Literally, there's apps where you can upload your to distribution sites and shit, whatever. Everything is in the palm of our hand, on our laptop, right in front of us. Like you can literally get famous in your fucking living room if you do it right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely trying to take advantage of the way society is going.
So I like to have everybody share a story during their episode because we live we have really unique experiences, whether it's like you going on Soundset for the first time or whatever.
Yeah.
What's a story that you can tell us that was like something really cool that happened to you through basically because you're still currently doing music?
Man, I would have to say going on tour, going to these different cities, out in Texas and Arizona and Colorado and Cali and Washington, just all these different states that I've never been to before, and people with the music or even know the music, singing along with it. Things like that it doesn't get no better, man. Like for an artist, that's a really dope experience to have.
Isn't it wild though when like, because this happens to me even just like with my show,
It's
that all of a
fuel,
sudden
man.
somebody that you've never met contacts you. Like I've had people just come into my store
Yeah.
and start talking to me and they're like, yeah, I listened to the show. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
How much do you know about me?
Right,
But it's
right.
rad that somebody's like stoked on something that you do and you've never even met them.
Man, another cool thing, I probably get stopped at least once a day for being Cashinova. And that's a whole nother, that my life was never like that before.
People fan out and need to get selfies and stuff.
Yeah, no, yo, at least once a day. I had one today.
Hell
I
yeah.
had one today at the mall. Yo.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm going to make you take a selfie with me too. So.
Hey.
Fangirling it.
Thank you for having me on this show, bro. I appreciate you, man.
I'm stoked that you decided to be on it,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Like you didn't even really question it, which was really sick. I mean,
No.
I've been doing it. It's not like this is like something I decided to do yesterday, but when you messaged me back, you're just like, yeah, tell me a little bit more about it. I sent you one message and you're like, tight. Yeah, let's go.
You said that you uplift people on your show. And like I said, bro, I'm all about being positive and and it's just good to get, to network and get to know each other and build relationships and like that.
Well, you never know. What's really cool to me, especially, is you never know when somebody that you meet through whatever is going to all of a sudden be a really important person in your life. Whether it's like a personal relationship or they're going to make a connection for something or
Right.
whatever. You never know when those people are going to come up. If you think about a lot of your best friends, like sure, some of them, could be somebody you grew up with necessarily, whatever. But there's going to be a lot of people when you look back where you're like, I met this person through this random thing, and we've been super good friends now for years.
Yeah,
You never know when those people are going to be popping up. So it's really
Facts.
important to like be open to letting those people be who they could be for you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's the general lesson I like to tell people, is to try to have like your mind open to that. Don't have all these walls up, because otherwise opportunities you're going to miss all the time.
For sure.
What's a lesson that you learned through things that was kind of helpful to you?
When when I was doing music, when I started putting shit on the internet years ago, I got hella messages from people all the time, and I felt like I was like, I don't have to read this stuff. I wasn't even that big or nothing. It's just people that really love the music, and I ignored hella shit and just not even open it. You know what I mean? Because it was so much, and I'm just like, whatever, man. I'm just putting music online, whatever. Now that I got in, since I've been in this whole mindset of I really want to do this, it's only right. And plus with the whole law of attraction thing, like I have this whole mindset where I'm not gonna dismiss any opportunity or something, or I'm not gonna, I'm gonna take advantage of anything that helps me spread my music, because that's my goal. You know what I mean? Is to get people to hear my shit. So yeah, so nowadays I'm down to chop it up with whoever if they want to get to know me and want to get to know about the music. Hell yeah.
Well, and think about like when you were younger, you probably met somebody, that you looked up to at some point, right? Like for me, it was skateboarding. That was like my thing since I was young, and I still skate. But now I like scuba dive and I do this stuff. I do all kinds of stuff. But when I was growing up, I remember, and I'm not going to name which pro skateboarder. I doubt he'll listen to it anyways. But I would go to demos at Third Layer Skate Parks, like a big skate park here it's in Golden Valley, but Minneapolis area. Lots of big teams come and stuff. And I went, and I just remember being cool guyed so hard by this dude. I had a skateboard video, like the hard copy DVD that he was in. He was like one of my favorite pro skateboarders. I knew he would be at this demo. Went there, and the dude was like, just didn't care at all. And I was so heartbroken and bummed, because I was little. I was like 12, and I was like, oh my God, like this dude sucks.
But then you come to realize like,
yeah, but then you meet other people though that like, like I remember meeting this one dude, Brian Brown, who was never even a big name pro skateboarder, but like was at this demo or whatever, met him, and then I was a huge fan of his. You know what I mean? Which is like, that's the cool part, is if you think about, if I just give this dude, not necessarily hours of your time, right? If somebody wants to take a photo with you, but how hard is it just to like be nice, take the quick little photo or whatever, make sure it's like, it's a minute long thing, and just say, hey man, I'm really busy, but it was great to meet you. Even just doing that, like can have such a cool impact on the people, and they're probably giving you hours and hours and hours of their time by listening to your music all the time. Why not give them the 30 seconds or whatever it is?
Right. Facts. I'm always showing love back to, I'm still, independent and still underground as hell. But yeah, any picture or anything that anybody asks me, I do it for sure.
Things are going to keep coming up.
Man.
So any last words that you have before we...
Man, High Speed Cash coming soon. Check out all the music that I got on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. YouTube. I got some new videos on there. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell. And yeah, man, just stay in tune, man. Stay tuned for High Speed Cash. It's gonna be one of the hottest albums to drop from planet Earth. I swear to God.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Once that's out, we'll be sure to do some kind of promo stuff. So jump on Instagram or any platform that you do, use. Follow each of us. Cashinova Music for us is passion_pod. For supporting the show, you just jump on passionboardshop.com. There's always links on it, and there's merch and stuff. There's all kinds of things, all kinds of ways that you can support. But the biggest one is by sharing it with your friends, sharing it with your family when you're on there. Yeah, just blast it out to the world, because the stuff that we're making is valuable to people. You know it, and the people that you suggested to might too. So what song do you want to use for the ending?
Could it be one of mine?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Let's do Easy. Featuring Ted Park, man. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's do that.
Cartier on my missus, running up all these digits. Wanna get in my business, won't let her get in my business. Don't give a fuck who switched up. Hop in the phone, I'm switching. Right around windows tinted, I don't need no attention. Yeah, ain't nobody said this was gonna be easy. Had to make them believe me. Had to get on my greasy. Had to fight all my demons. Gotta watch for who's sneaking. This shit hard, believe me, but I make it look easy. Yeah, used to be my homie, but the money made you switch on me. Whole time plotting on me, this just crazy, I ain't even noticed. She told me that I fly like Thomas. Wanna slide on me, wanna get in my rocket. Only wanna get in my pocket, so next time I ain't doing no responding. Devil trying to get in my head, won't let the demons get a hold of my body. You just would've left me dead, I don't need no one but day ones round me. Sipping on all this hand, rolling this gas, I'm blowing exotic. Money make me excited, tryna put on the finest. Cartier on my missus, running up all these digits. Wanna get in my business, won't let her get in my business. Don't give a fuck who switched up. Hop in the phone, I'm switching. Right around windows tinted, I don't need no attention. Yeah, ain't nobody said this was gonna be easy. Had to make them believe me. Had to get on my greasy. Had to fight all my demons. Gotta watch for who's sneaking. This shit hard, believe me, but I make it look easy.
But I make it look easy. Stop calling and saying you need me. My ex, she tried to delete me, but she can't cause my neck gon' freeze me. Neck and heart unfroze. They treated me ice cold, so I got a new freezer. Try to tell them you'll blow up, they'll never believe it. Never down for the ride, now they wanna jump in this two-seater. Still a boy with a blue face, rolling new face. Just a year ago, used to have neither. Now they act two-faced, magic too great, and they gotta pay up for a feature. To air my lenses, on tour in the all-black Benzes. Nobody said this was gonna be easy. Always on go cause my people, they need me.
Cartier on my missus, running up all these digits. Wanna get in my business, won't let her get in my business. Don't give a fuck who switched up. Hop in the phone, I'm switching. Right around windows tinted, I don't need no attention. Yeah, ain't nobody said this was gonna be easy. Had to make them believe me. Had to get on my greasy. Had to fight all my demons. Gotta watch for who's sneaking. This shit hard, believe me, but I make it look easy.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.